It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Monaste. It's a double, French double. I imagine, I've not looked at no maps, but I imagine it would be on the border of Belgium. That kind of region of great Belgian beer kind of spilled over into France. And this is a 6.4% ABV double. There are definitely kind of doubles and triples and blondes in France. It's just we don't really hear too much about them. On the other hand, when you think of beer in Belgium, it's like a hand and a glove. I think the difference is with France is it's really well known as a wine country. Beer kind of plays second fiddle, but there are some really good breweries in France. I picked this up. I picked this one up in B&M. B&M stores. I call it B&M bargains. It wasn't that much, to be honest. It was about £1.60 for the can. I was really intrigued by what was on offer here. And pouring the beer out, I'm even more intrigued now. It was a lovely thick pour. It looks like it's going to have a fantastic, thick, creamy mouthfeel. Great head retention. Just about a 3-finger tan coloured head. And a really deep coloured ale. It looks like a mahogany or kind of dark, almost kind of stout looking, dark mild looking. Yeah, very intrigued by this one. I'm very intrigued because these stores, they have a knack, especially kind of home bargains, B&M, they have a knack of bulk buying stock when a company goes out of business. I've got my fingers crossed that this company hasn't gone out of business, but I'm wondering if this is what's indeed happened here. The company's gone out of business, they've bought all of their stock and they're selling it cheap in a British supermarket, British kind of discount kind of supermarket place. They're not even supermarkets, are they? They're like weird garden centre, buy your Halloween stuff, chocolates, biscuits, crisps, batteries, you know, those sorts of places. If you think you need a new TV lead, if one of your TV leads is broken, then you hit Home Bargains or B&M, that sort, pillowcases, that sort of thing. But they do sell a bit of food and a bit of drink. Let's get the aroma. 500 milliliter can, 6.4% ABV. That smells okay, that. It really does. There's a little bit of roasted malt in there, a little bit of chocolate malt. Smells interesting, really interesting. That kind of Belgian stroke French yeast. Slight kind of estery flavour coming through. Biscuity and bready as well. A little bit of raisin and plum. That'll be coming from the hops. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, there's definitely enough going on. There's definitely definitely enough going on for you to say this is a really interesting drink. It's actually quite nice. It's drinking like a hybrid. You definitely get a little bit of roasted malt in there. It's drinking like a hybrid stout, mild, strong mild. There's a level of sweetness that you taste to begin with. It is a little bit tinny. There is a slight metallic taste that's running through it. I'm going to say it's fine for the price. The beer was only £1.60 a can, something like that. I can kind of forgive that for the price. I can get over that metallic, that tinny metallic taste. I can live with that for the price. Carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth. It's really interesting because I just had flavours. I was about to talk about it kind of not quite being a double, but then I just had some yeasty kind of estery kind of Belgian double traits that are coming through. French double. It's quite interesting. If you thought in your mind, you could make this sort of beer whatever you wanted to make it. You could say dark mild. Yeah, this is a dark mild. You could convince your brain that you're drinking a dark mild if you forgot the word double on the front of the can. You could probably convince yourself that you were drinking a really light stout with that roasted malt and that kind of bitterness there. I think you would have a far harder time trying to convince yourself that it was a proper kind of authentic French stroke Belgian double. I think it's the reason why it was cheaper is that it's not really, maybe it's double malt, double beer, doppio malto. Okay, so maybe it's a double malt beer. If that's the case, which it seems to be kind of indicating, then that's fine. It's not trying to be a Belgian double. Traditional deep brown Abbey beer with a round and malty taste and delicious hints of roasted barley, coffee and chocolate, brewed under license of the Crespin Abbey in France. It honestly does everything it says on the tin. It is an Abbey beer. It's brewed in the Crespin Abbey in France. It's got a malty taste. Yes, it has. Delicious hints of roasted barley. Yes, it has. Coffee. There's a little bit of coffee in there. And chocolate. There's a little bit of kind of, you know, for me it's roasted malt, but you know, if they want to describe it as coffee and chocolate, they're very kind of welcome to do that. It's an interesting one, it really is. Would I return to it? I think I would. In a sense of, if I was going round my mate's house, having a drink with my mate, having a laugh, I would probably pick some of these up because he's intrigued in beer as well. He likes to pick up all these different beers. I'd like to pick up a couple more of these and see what he thought of it. Discuss it with a mate. Sit down, have a little kind of discussion of what we're drinking and why we're drinking it. Food pairing: smoked ham, wild game, pate stew, spare ribs and chocolate mousse. The aromatic recipes of Monsieur Abbey beers can be traced back to the ancient French monasteries of Whisks and Crespin. Brewmasters still use the distinctive ale yeast, high quality barley malt and noble hops to create a range of beer that are extraordinary in taste, aroma and mouthfeel. It's really interesting. I mean, the ingredients are water, barley malt, sugar, wheat, composed syrup, glucose syrup, hops. So there are sugars, there are glucose syrups in here, which probably reflects the price a little bit. You have a vision. They've given you that kind of vision on the front of the can that it's, you know, it's brewed by monks and, you know, and it's brewed in an abbey. But then you read the back of the can and you read that there's glucose syrup and sugars added to the beer, which it's probably a little bit of a shady area. If it was like coming from a really top quality Belgian abbey, then you wouldn't see glucose syrup or sugars. Maybe a little bit of Belgian candied sugar maybe, but you wouldn't really see glucose syrup added to a top quality Belgian beer. So I think that reflects the price. I think that's why the price of the beer is the price of the beer. I think I'm ready to rate this lovely beer then. It looks good, it smells good, it tastes good. You don't really get a sense of that 6.4% ABV. Alcohol by volume. Yes, I would buy it again. A couple of cans to share with a mate, talk about what we're tasting. It's cheap enough. It's cheap enough. I like it. I like it enough to give it, for the money, that's an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.